following is a presentation of Washington and Lee women's basketball on 91.5 FM WLUR Lexington. Now let's go live to the gymnasium. Here is Jeremy Franklin.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome inside the Salem Civic Center here for the quarterfinal round of the 2020 Old Dominion Athletic Conference Women's Basketball Tournament. Our first evening matchup tonight features the number 2 seed Washington and Lee, co-regular season champions, taking on the number 7 seed Guilford. Jeremy Franklin with you for the broadcast, joined as always here at the ODAC Tournament by former Hollins and Lynchburg head coach Richie Wagner. And Richie, will talk about the Generals and the Quakers in just a moment, but we saw some interesting games in the afternoon session, the stinging insect portion of the bracket. It was Wasps versus Hornets, and then it was Yellow Jackets versus Hornets, and both of the Hornets lost. The 1-8 game, though, could not have asked for anything more as Emory and Henry held off the number 8 seed Lynchburg 61-57.
Well, if you were a Lynchburg fan in that game, you really felt it was your game down the stretch. They had a 4-point lead and were at the free throw line, a chance to push it to a 6-point game with less than 3 minutes to play. Weren't able to convert those, and Emory and Henry did what you would expect what those 3 all-conference seniors did down the stretch. They executed really well. They got a really nice inside game from Peyton Williams. They kind of put Sydney McKinney on the outside, pulled Aaron Green, the all-conference post player from Lynchburg, away from the basket, and let Williams and then Kara Stafford go one-on-one, and they were to come away with the win.
Meanwhile, in the second game, we saw the defending champions ousted. Shenandoah won the tournament as the 8th seed last year. First time that's ever happened. They beat Washington and Lee in the championship game, but the 5th seeded Hornets knocked out by number 4 Randolph-Macon. The Yellow Jackets boast the ODAC Player of the Year. Kelly Williams won that award for the second time in her career, but it was a team effort for Randolph-Macon as they rolled by Shenandoah 75-48.
And Randolph-Macon coming in as the 4 seed. They would have been probably a higher seed than that had Williams not taken a little extra time coming back from that knee injury. She really struggled to get her breath, to get her win that first part of the season. But for the last month, she's been the most dominant player in the league. She carried them, and she had an excellent game today. 17 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, threw a couple blocks in there, and only did it in 24 minutes.
Hampered by foul trouble in the first half, but took over in the second half. So it's Randolph-Macon and Emory and Henry in our first semifinal on the women's side at 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Washington and Lee is trying to get back to the semifinals for the 3rd straight season. The Generals, Richie, had arguably the best regular season in program history. First time they've ever won a share of the ODAC championship of the regular season. 18 wins is the most prior to the ODAC tournament for a WNL women's basketball team. The Generals were in the championship game, as we mentioned last year, brought just about everybody back. It took them a while to hit their stride, but they have been playing some great basketball as of late.
And I think they're the deepest, most talented roster that we have in the ODAC this year. You know, having been around this for 30-plus years, you're used to seeing at this tournament come in and having that one team that's a little bit better, or maybe sometimes head and shoulders better than everybody else. We really didn't see that in the regular season with Emory and Henry and Washington and Lee kind of battling it out. But Washington Lee's got a deeper roster than Emory and Henry does. They have a deeper roster than anybody they're going to see this weekend. And I think they have a little unfinished business. I really think they felt like they should have gotten that ODAC championship last year, and they're coming here with that one goal here this year.
4 all-ODAC selections for the Generals. Aaron Hughes, a first-teamer. Taylor Casey and Andy Smith, they named to the second team, of the sophomore point guard Megan Horn, a third-team selection. Speaking of playing good basketball, Guilford has been doing that as of late. The Quakers were picked first in the preseason coaches poll. They were not anticipating that one of their stars, Lindsey Golden, would be gone completely for a chunk of the season. And you were talking about Kelly Williams getting her legs. It took Lindsey Golden a while to do that after she came back, but Guilford has won 5 of its last 6, rolled by the number 10 seed Virginia Wesleyan 62-37 in Greensboro on Monday night. The Quakers do come in with a 10-8 conference record, but they have saved their best for the tail end of the regular season.
Yeah, they've only lost 2 games since the turn of February there. They got into February. Golden got healthy. You've got Miracle Walters, who's one of the best all-around players in the ODAC, and they started hitting their stride, and they're doing exactly what Coach Flamini-led teams do. They play really, really good, solid half-court defense. They make you push you out away from the basket. They make you really execute if you're going to score on the offensive end. And through that defense, their offense has started to pick it up, and they're really playing their best basketball right now.
Guilford coming in at 15-9 overall. The Quakers have reached the ODAC championship game 5 times in the last 8 years and won 3 titles, most recently in 2017. Tonight's broadcast of the ODAC basketball tournament on WLUR and WLUR All Access, powered by First Team Broadcasting, is brought to you in part by the Washington and Lee University Store. Owned and operated by WNL, the University Store is located right on campus in Elrod Commons. The store features a wide range of apparel celebrating WNL, including the Peter Millar Collegiate Collection, offering polos and sweaters for your game day style. If you're looking for workout gear, we have a variety of performance apparel from Nike and Under Armour. All proceeds go back to the Washington and Lee community, helping to fund athletic, alumni, and student programs. The store is open 7 days a week. Order online anytime at store.wlu.edu. You don't play everybody twice in the regular season, but these two teams did meet a couple of times this year. Washington and Lee won both of those matchups 66-62 in Greensboro at the beginning of January, their first road win over the Quakers since 2011. Andy Smithy had 18 points, Taylor Casey with 16. Julie Carini, the senior center for Guilford, led her team with 18 points and 8 rebounds. 66-54 WNL in Lexington at the beginning of this month on what was senior day for Andy Smithy, Taylor Casey, and Molly Mann. Aaron Hughes, the first team all-conference selection, game-high 19 points, also picked up 8 rebounds. Carini, also the leader for Guilford in that game with a dozen points. We talk about round 3, and something you alluded to is Guilford on the defensive end. The Quakers are the number 1 scoring defense in the conference. Washington and Lee, the number 1 scoring offense in the ODAC.
And that's what we're going to see here. And how many times have we seen it sitting here right next to each other over the years where you'll see, well, we saw it last year, right? Shenandoah won this tournament because they played better half-court defense than anybody else did. And that was how they were able to come through as the 8 seed and knock off WNL last year in the finals. They beat this Guilford team who was the number 1 seed coming in last year in the quarterfinal round. So defense carries when you get to the Civic Center. Can Washington and Lee hit some outside shots early? Because if they can, that's going to open up some driving lanes, and they do such a good job, especially Erin Hughes. You've talked about how she likes to put her head down, get to the basket, kick it out to those open shooters. If they can knock down some shots, they can loosen up this Guilford defense. But if they're not hitting their shots, this Guilford defense gets better and better as the game goes on.
And as you mentioned, the Quaker offense has been coming along. You look at Miracle Walters and Lindsey Golden, season numbers, and they're okay. But over the last 6 or 8 games, they're really, really good at that end of the floor as well. We are getting closer and closer to tip-off here in Salem. We'll pick up coverage on the ODAC Sports Network in just a moment as well. Right now, it's time for a visit with Washington and Lee head coach Christine Clancy. You're listening to the ODAC Tournament on WLUR and WLUR All Access. Joining me now is Washington and Lee head coach Christine Clancy. Coach, first time that a Washington and Lee women's basketball team has earned a share of the regular season title. The 18 wins are the most in the regular season for WNL. What do those achievements mean to you and your program?
Yeah, I'm really proud of our team. We had kind of a slow start to the season and a little shaky in the first half in 2019. But it was really exciting to see the growth and the maturity that happened kind of as we turned into a new calendar year. Going 12-1 down the stretch in 2020 is a pretty big accomplishment in this league. And, you know, we didn't have much room for error to try to break the regular season wins record. So it was pretty impressive that they were able to keep that consistency through the second half of the season.
What have you seen from your upperclassmen this year, that 3-player senior group and then your junior Aaron Hughes?
Yeah, they've been great leaders for us. Obviously, the 3 seniors have been through a lot in this program, and you know, they've gotten a little bit further every year in the tournament and helped push this program to a new level. And Erin has really matured in the second half of the season. She played outstanding basketball through 2020, so we're hoping she can continue that. And their leadership has been very, very strong. They also have a great underclass group to work with, and especially our sophomore class, Meg Horn and Jordan Deal, Kate Groninger, Erin Addison. All 4 of those guys are huge keys to everything that we do.
You made it to the ODAC championship game last season, so you know what it takes to get that far. How do you apply the lessons that you learned from 2019 into this year's tournament?
You know, I think when it came down to the championship game, we were looking a little too far ahead, and we learned last year through the tournament and through some of our ups and downs earlier in the season that we can't look ahead. We got to be in the moment. We've got to focus on the possession that we're in, the game that we're in, and not worry about what's next. So I think if we can do that, if we can set sort of smaller goals and keep our focus more narrow, that we have the talent, certainly, and the depth to win the championship.
You start with a difficult matchup against Guilford in the quarterfinal round. Your team beat the Quakers twice during the regular season, nail-biter down in Greensboro, and a game that you pretty much controlled back in Lexington. What do you take away from those games as you prepare to face Guilford for a third time this year?
I mean, obviously, we're very familiar with Guilford as they are really familiar with us. It's kind of nice going in against a team that you know. We understand who their key players are. Miracle Walters, Lindsay Galden, Julie Carini are three that have really performed well together and have done especially Carini has done a really good job against us. So, we're really familiar with them. We understand what our game plan needs to be. We got to do a good job protecting the paint and really, they're a defensive focused team. They try to limit possessions. They keep a low scoring game. So we really feel like if we can keep them under 50 points, that our offense can kind of do the damage to get us a W.
That's Washington and Lee head coach Christine Clancy as her team gets set to take on Guilford. Quarterfinals of the 2020 ODAC Women's Basketball Tournament here in Salem. Jeremy Franklin alongside Richie Wagner. I'd like to welcome in our viewers on the all-new ODAC SN, the ODAC Sports Network. The 2-7 matchup here on this Thursday, full of women's hoops quarterfinals. Guilford 15-9 overall, 10-8 in the conference. Washington and Lee 18-7. And a 15-3 ODAC record tied for first with an Emory and Henry team that got the 1 seed based on a head-to-head win against WNL and which edged number 8 Lynchburg earlier today. The Wasps will take on the number 4 seed Randolph-Macon, which won the title a couple of years ago. That'll be in the semifinals on Saturday. Winner here will take on either the number 3 seed Bridgewater or number 6 Roanoke. That is the nightcap. As we get set for basketball, quick look at the starting lineups for Stephanie Flamini's Guilford team. We'll see Charisma Lynn, 5'5", first year from Raleigh. Lindsay Galden, 5'9", sophomore from Stokesdale, North Carolina. Kaylin Davis, a 5'5", sophomore from East Bend, North Carolina. Miracle Walters, a 5'9", senior from Elkin, North Carolina, the second-team All-ODAC selection. And Julie Carini, 6'2", senior from Little River, South Carolina. This is the regular lineup for Washington and Lee. The Generals used this starting 5 in 24 out of 25 regular season games. It consists of Jordan Deal, 5'9", sophomore from Springboro, Ohio. Megan Horn, 5'11", sophomore from Basking Ridge, New Jersey. Andy Smithy, 5'10", senior from Charlotte. Taylor Casey, 5'7", senior from Brentwood, Tennessee. And Aaron Hughes, 5'10", junior from Raleigh. Horn, Smithy, Casey, and Hughes all earning all-conference honors this season. So we talk about great defensive Guilford, very potent offensive Washington and Lee. How important is dictating the tempo and pace of this game in the opening minutes?
Well, it's going to be huge in the beginning. I mean, you kind of figure if either team comes out firing on all cylinders early, you'll kind of be surprised. The 6 o'clock game and the 8 o'clock game are really tough in this tournament situation because you've come in, you last took the floor at your shoot-around 10 o'clock this morning, and then you've kind of either sat around the hotel or here around the Civic Center all day. So the legs usually, it's a little bit easier for the defenses to get going than it is the offenses. But what you want to do is don't discount the defense that Washington Lee plays too. They do score a lot of points. They're a great offensive team, but they're an excellent half-court defensive team as well. And if they can get some stops and maybe a couple of quick transition baskets, seeing that ball go in can help them on the offensive end.
I can tell you for a fact, Richie, that Washington and Lee did not do a shoot-around or sit around the Civic Center. They've been in Lexington. It's such a short trip for this team. They stay home, and I imagine if they win tonight, they would return home and just come back on Saturday. So the advantage of being less than an hour away from Salem. It's
huge because you get to stay in a routine. I mean, Roanoke College, all those years I was here on the Roanoke College bench, and we won 7 of these during my 9 years there as an assistant coach. And it's huge. It's good and it's bad because they've still got to go to class. Maybe they have a a test, maybe you've got a presentation, something you've got to do, but you're able to kind of stay in a routine the best you can. And the thing about a 6 o'clock game is most of the time during the regular season you're playing at 7 o'clock anyway, so it's not that much different than your normal game time and your normal game day routine if you're playing a simple road game.
Teams taken to floor now. Guilford in the road black, Washington and Lee in the home white. Quakers lead the all-time series 36-15, but the Generals have won 4 of the past 6. As we told you, both of the regular season meetings went Washington and Lee's way 66-62 in Greensboro on January 4th. 4 weeks later, 66-54 in Lexington. Carini and Horn on the tip. It is controlled by the Quakers. They will attack the basket to our left in the opening half, and Washington and Lee comes out in man-to-man. Brought to the right wing by Charisma Lynch. She'll take it inside. Kick to the corner. Lindsey Golden for 3. That's good. The three-pointer up and in for Golden.
And that's not what you want to see if you're a Washington Lee fan, is Golden get going early. We've talked about the last couple of weeks that she has. She's really hitting her stride after such a successful first-year campaign to be dinged up, but now really getting into it right at tournament time.
Andy Smithy away to Megan Horn. She'll try to answer left side 3. That's no good, and Carini with the rebound.
Nice look, though. Didn't take it too early in the shot clock. Let the offense develop, and there was nobody on the left side of the floor. Just wasn't able to convert.
9:15 to play opening quarter. Quakers 3, Generals nothing. Comes around the horn to Golden on the right side. Now Davis is a great three-point shooter. Gives it up to Lynn. 11 on the shot clock. Lynn attacking the runner is up and good. First 5 points of the game to Guilford.
And that's 2 possessions, and we've seen Lynn penetrate on both of those. One for the kick-out 3, that time all the way to the basket. They've got to do a better job of containing her quick dribble.
Aaron Hughes top of the arc for the Generals. Sends it right side to Horn. Horn dribbles down low, spin move, the runner won't go. Gets her own rebound, shot clock reset to 20. Kick to Casey for the open 3, that's too strong. And the rebound is tracked down by Lynn, and the Quakers have a 3-on-2, but Lynn doesn't look to exploit that. Instead, a half-court set for Guilford, already up 5-0. Inside it comes to Golden. Back out to Walters. Walters the attack, the spin, the leaner, good. 7-0 Quakers, 8:21 to go.
That was a great spin move by Walters. She was able to get her body into the defender, spin away, and nice little scoop shot. And I believe they're 3 for 3 here to start, are the Quakers.
They are indeed, and now they got a steal. Smithy lost it off the drive. Davis runs the break for Guilford, going one-on-one with Hughes, who blocks her shot. Davis gets the basketball back. It is 7-0 Guilford just over 2 minutes in as Davis heads back to midcourt to set up the half-court L. Bounce pass ahead to Walters at the left elbow. Walters, the crossover, and ends up dragging the pivot foot, a traveling violation.
Great job by Taylor Casey there. Good senior defensive play. She had a height advantage, did Walters. She was trying to get and post Casey up. Casey stayed about 1.5 feet off of her, and when she made that move, instead of going toward the ball, she backed up and caused that travel.
Generals looking for their first points, down 7-0. Smithy off the shot fake, pulls up the runner from 12, no good. Battling for the rebound, she's the last to touch it. It'll belong to the Quakers with 7:34 to play.
And you haven't hit any of your outside shots yet. Casey missed a 3, Horn missed a 3. That's what I like to see. Smithy can take Carini to the basket. I think that was a good move right there. But she's got to have one of her teammates come in the weak side, because that should be an easy offensive rebound and stick back.
So a 7-0 Guilford lead. Generals 0 for 4 from the field now. Golden working baseline against Jordan Deal. Gets her down low and then takes steps trying to post up.
And again, another good job defensively, one-on-one. The mistake that people make when they get inside is they like to make that contact. The offense wants the contact. Defense doesn't want contact, and that's twice now you've seen the Washington Lee player take a step back and draw a travel.
Taylor Casey has it, 22 points in the last regular season game, the win over Randolph. Generals haven't played in 8 days. They had the last bye. Casey left corner 3 is up, in and out. That was halfway down, it wouldn't stick. And there's a foul on Aaron Hughes on the rebound.
That's unfortunate there. Hughes came in, had really good position. It looked like to me that the Guilford player, that was Lynn, was underneath the basket. I didn't see a whole lot of contact there, but they're going to call Hughes for the first foul, and you don't want to see Aaron Hughes get in foul trouble. She hasn't really gotten it going on the offensive end either. They haven't really gotten her any clean looks. I'd like to see her drive to the basket because she's a good job of finishing and making free throws.
And a player who's been on fire down the stretch for Washington in the league, playing her way onto that All-ODAC first team. Deep left corner, Carini, another traveling call on Guilford. That is the third Quaker turnover, but they still lead it 7-0.
And Carini wasn't going to take that three-pointer. Smithy did a good job of not closing out too hard, closing out to a spot. And again, that's 3 travels now in the last 3 possessions for the Quakers.
Can the Generals get on the board here? 6:39 to play. Down 7-0. Megan Hornwing left side. Sends it across to Hughes. Hughes driving baseline. Post up, the spin, the layup, no good over Carini. Rebounded by Golden.
That's what I wanted to see, though. I want to see Aaron Hughes get inside the paint, try and draw some contact. Just wasn't able to get that shot to fall.
So still a goose egg on the scoreboard for Washington and Lee with 6:15 left in the quarter. Miracle Walters away to Carini, left baseline. Kick out to Charisma Lynn. Lynn down the lane. Feeds the wing. The shot is up and good. Walters the mid-range from the baseline. It's 9-0.
And every time Lynn has been able to beat her player one-on-one, get into the paint, good things have happened for Guilford.
At the other end, Megan Horn on the attack, running layup good and a foul. Finally some points for Washington and Lee, and a free throw coming for Horn.
But when you've got a team that averages the points that Washington Lee does, the reason they do that is because they push the ball. Makes or misses, they push the ball up the floor and put pressure on that defense. And that time, Horn was able to get down there quicker than her defensive player, and now she's got a chance at a three-point play, and that's exactly what they needed as we get close to that first media timeout.
Coverage tonight on WLUR Lexington, 91.5 FM, and WLUR All Access. Glad to have our viewers on the ODAC SN, ODAC Sports Network as well. Free throw for Megan Horn is up and good. It's 9-3 with 5:55 to play. Kate Groninger, leading bench scorer for the Generals, has checked in, replacing Aaron Hughes.
Now they got to keep Lynn out of the paint here on this possession. Play a little bit softer out on the perimeter and move your feet. You can't let her get in the paint. She's making too many good things happen.
Manel Dunlap is in for Guilford in place of Carini. Top of the key three for Davis, short. Dunlap the offensive rebound and the putback.
And that's a tough matchup right there. Dunlap, good post player, got good footwork, can finish with both hands. Did a good job of sealing her player underneath the basket. Got that offensive rebound and stick back.
Horn away to deal left side. Casey fakes the three. Casey, the runner, is up, no good. Jordan Deal trying to save the rebound. It won't work, and it goes back to Guilford. The Quakers up 11-3 with 5:15 to play.
Another good defensive possession for the Quakers. Other than that one Horn penetrate where they beat their team, beat their defender down the floor and got it to the rim. Other than that, they forced everything pretty much outside of the paint right now for Washington to lead. Not a real good flow on the offensive end.
Generals are 1 of 8 from the field. Erin Addison has come in for WNL. She's defending Kaylin Davis, who sends it away to Lynn. Lynn to the foul line, pull-up jumper, no. Rebound snatched down by Horn, who wants to run.
That time they were to keep Lynn outside the paint. She had to settle for the jump shot. She couldn't get it in that interior.
Inside out, Smithy to Deal, open three, won't go, and the rebound corralled by Lynn, who dribbles it off her foot. Groninger will pick it up at midcourt, but then Davis dives down and ties her up. On the alternating possession, it will belong to the Generals as we have reached our first timeout of the game. Great start for the number 7 seed, Guilford. The Quakers lead Washington and Lee 11-3 with 4:36 left in the first quarter. We'll be right back.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
An 8-point lead for Guilford in the early going. Talk about the Quakers' half-court defense. Washington and Lee has only turned it over once so far, but Guilford has held WNL to a 1 of 9 shooting clip in the first 5:24 of tonight's game.
And keeping them off the offensive glass. If you're struggling to shoot right now, because when Guilford plays good defense, they're going to force your offense to start 30 feet away from the basket, and that's exactly what they do. So you can put a check mark there. Then they want to limit second shots. So what you've got to do is you've got to rotate the floor, penetrate, and try and get that defense to break down, because if not, you're just going to settle on jump shots all night long.
Here's a steal for Charisma Lynn. Wants to run one-on-one with Groninger. And Lynn goes down, and a play on there as the ball goes out of bounds. It'll belong to Washington and Lee.
And a good job by the officiating crew right there. She was losing control of that ball before the contact, so they didn't bail her out with the call. That's the fifth turnover now for Guilford. So Washington Lee doing a pretty good job defensively getting turnovers. They've got to convert those into some easy baskets.
Jordan Deal right side to Megan Horn. Fakes the three. Drives and dishes to Deal, away to Groninger, deep left corner. Inside for Hughes, who got around her initial defender. Can't finish the layup, does get a tap on the rebound. It comes to Addison. Shot clock reset to 20.
Here's one of these second chance opportunities. See if they can take advantage of it. Nice job by Addison tracking down that loose ball.
Horn away to Deal on the wing. Deal down the lane. Deal, the leaner is up and good. Guilford wanted a traveling call there.
Yeah, I think I would have too if I'd have been coaching against that move right there. It was a nice job. She came back to the up and under, but she did slide that pivot foot a little bit. But right now, Washington Lee will take it because it's the second time they've been able to penetrate to the basket. So one offensive rebound, they've converted that into points. And that's exactly what they needed.
11-5, 3:25 left in the quarter. Golden out front to Miracle Walters. Walters the drive, the spin against Groninger, layup no good, and a foul on the rebound on Guilford. That'll go against Dunlap.
Nice job by Hughes, boxing out the bigger player Dunlap that time and forcing that over the back call. But a good job right there. Miracle Walters got what she wanted, just wasn't able to convert. But what they're not doing, Washington Lee, is they're not getting so close defensively that they're picking up cheap fouls on these penetrations. So even though they're losing, they're down right now, if they can get a couple offensive rebounds, maybe take some of these turnovers to convert them into points, it'll be a 2 or 3 point game by the end of the break.
Here's the turnover. Hughes threw it right to Kaylin Davis. No numbers here, so Davis will settle. 3 minutes left first quarter, and Guilford up by 6. Out front, it's Lynn. Bounce pass ahead to Walters' right elbow. Hands off to Lynn. Lynn attacking Groninger, the help side defense in the block. And now the Generals run 3-on-2, turning into a 3-on-3 as Guilford hustles back defensively. And then another steal. The ball came inside for Hughes, and Golden, who's among the ODAC leaders in steals, knocked that ball away.
Right there, I'd like to see Deal go ahead. She was the trail play there. The three-pointer was wide open. It would have been a great transition opportunity to see if he could have stolen an easy three.
11-5 Quakers. Golden dribbling in front of the foul line, gives the ball to Davis. Davis to the right corner to Lynn. We have a 3-second violation called against the Quakers, I believe, on Monell Dunlap.
Yeah, Dunlap had her player pinned. She was showing the 4, the 0. When you're a point guard out there and you see those numbers, you got to get the ball inside. Davis took it too far off of that screen. She should have caught it, made a quick entry pass, and Davis would have had a one-on-one situation.
6th Guilford turnover of this opening quarter, but Quakers still lead it by half a dozen. Erin Addison on the drive. She's fouled before the shot. That'll be on the new Guilford player, Kristen Roberts, the top bench scorer for the Quakers at 9.2 a game.
And Roberts got her hands out there and does a great job that time. By Addison. She saw she had her back on her heels and just penetrated right to the basket, picked up that foul.
Taylor Casey, left side, 3 off a screen is good. Great inbounds play, a couple of passes to set that look up for Casey.
Great job. She caught the ball. She squared her hips and her shoulders to the basket. And if you're a good three-point shooter and you can square up those two parts of the body, you've got a chance to knock those shots down.
225th triple of Taylor Casey's career, second all-time at Washington and Lee.
The Generals right back in it right here. Exactly what we talked about. It got it back to a one-possession game. Another turnover.
Dunlap lost her footing on the entry pass, and it goes right to Andy Smithy instead. 11-8, minute 35 to go. Smithy foul line, left side Casey, long 3, no good. She was probably 4 feet behind the arc on that shot. The rebound deflects out of bounds to Guilford.
Yeah, but you'll take that right there. There was a defensive rotation where Dunlop got switched out on Casey. There's no way she could close out to her. If she'd have gone out a little too fast, Casey could have pump faked right there and driven right past her. Instead, settled for the 3 and almost knocked it down.
11-8, a minute 18 to play first quarter. Guilford scored the first 7 points of the game and has been in front ever since. Davis right side 3 won't go. Dunlap another offensive board. Wild miss on the stick back, but Golden has it. Away to Walters. Foul line jumper in and out. Dunlap has a chance at it, saves it into Roberts. Roberts down the lane and scores. Way too many chances given up by the Generals on the glass there.
And you had 3 Generals standing outside the three-point line that never went in to help out on the glass right there. You can't do that against that kind of activity on the glass.
Guilford manhandling WNL on the boards right now, and up 13-8 as a result. Addison right wing for the Generals, 37 seconds left in the quarter. Comes to Molly Mann in the corner. Inside, great feed for Andy Smithy. And all Dunlap can do is foul her. Free throws coming up for the second team All-ODAC selection.
Smithy, when she's at her best, she's going to the basket. That time it was kind of a give and go where she kicked it to the corner, beat her player to the block. It's either that or the penetration. I really don't think the post players, Carini and Dunlap, can stay in front of her if she wants to take it from the foul line like that.
Dunlap has just picked up her second foul, so Carini back in. Smithy's first free throw is good. 8th in the conference in foul shooting, 2nd in field goal percentage, trailing only Miracle Walters of Guilford.
And that's what you want to see out of your post player. Make your shots in next to the basket and be able to knock down free throws. If you can do that, you've got a chance to do exactly what Smithy did, and that's be an all-conference post player.
Julie Carini, by the way, an excellent foul shooter as well. She gets to the line. 13-10 as Smithy hits them both. 24 seconds left in the period. About a 3-second differential between the shot and game clocks. Walters on the attack against Smithy. Leans inside. Nice move for the two.
What a move. It's the best move in women's basketball, the up and under. You go one way hard, you give that quick fake, and you come back to the other side, and Walters made them pay.
Casey airballs a three off the dribble, and it goes out to Guilford with 5.6 seconds remaining, a force that time.
And that's a little early in the shot clock. You don't want to give up this last shot here. You'd gotten back to a 4 or 5 point game.
Here's Golden, pull up three with 2 to go, short. It was online, didn't miss by much. And that'll take us to the end of the opening period. Guilford on top, trying to pull off the upset. The Quakers lead Washington and Lee 15-10 as we come right back to Salem.
Prairie Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear. Because for 75 years, he's only said,
only you can prevent wildfires.
But there's a lot more to say. Like, if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So be careful out there. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Start of the second quarter in Salem tonight. Jeremy Franklin alongside Richie Wagner. It's Guilford 15, Washington and Lee 10. Rebounding advantage for the Quakers. Maybe the difference in the game right now. It's 14-6. Guilford on the boards. Washington and Lee comes in as the second best rebounding team in the ODAC. Quakers built up that early lead. Generals, though, working their way back in the game.
Well, and they did it really on the defensive end. Guilford was 3 for 3 their first 3 shots of the game. They were able to penetrate, kick it out, or penetrate, take it all the way to the basket. And since that time, they're only 4 of 13 from the field. So a much better job defensively by Washington and Lee. Guilford has been as advertised on the defensive end. They're doing a really good job. Even though they're turning it over, Washington Lee only got 5 points off those 7 Guilford turnovers.
Guilford basketball back underway. Roberts, Walters, along with Carini, Golden, and Davis against Hughes, Horn, Deal, Smithy, and Casey. Roberts has the top of the key, 11 to shoot. Drive and dish away to Walters, who's got 6 early points. Skip pass to Golden. Golden gets down low, hands to Walters, layup good. 8 points for the 3-time All-Conference selection.
And Miracle Walters never stopped moving that entire 30-second possession right there, and then she finally found some freedom because Hughes was all over the entire possession until right at the very end.
17-10 Guilford. Megan Horn out front for the Generals. Swings it to the corner to Hughes, who has yet to score for this WNL team. Inside to Smithy, away to Horn. Right side three is up and good.
Nice job of inside-out play. They got it inside to Smithy. That collapses the defense, and that skip pass is going to be open. A nice recognition by the senior, and then Horn to knock down that three.
Horn has 6. And it's 17-13, 8:54 to play first half. Golden deep right corner, out front to Roberts. Left side to Davis, who is ready to shoot. Splashes home a three.
Yeah, right there, Casey just a split second late on that closeout allowed Davis to have that clean look at a three from right in front of us.
Davis, the second best three-point shooter in this conference, makes it 20-13 Quakers. Smithy at the free throw line, sends it right corner to Hughes, who travels.
Yeah, made a mistake that you usually don't see Erin Hughes make. Usually she catches it and gets in that really good triple threat or that athletic position. This time she got it, put it above her head, and more times than not, if you try and make a move with the ball above your head, you're going to travel.
Tough start for the first team All-Conference selection. Erin Hughes, no points, 0-2 from the field. That was her second turnover. 7-point Guilford lead, 8:19 left second quarter. Ball comes down low for the Quakers to Walters, sends it back out to Golden. Golden down the lane against Deal, muscles it up and good.
And that's where you've got Walters and Golden on the same side of the floor. Hughes couldn't double down because it had left Miracle Walters, one of the best shooters in the league, wide open. So they had to play one-on-one, and Golden made them pay.
Quakers 10 of 19 from the field. They lead by 9. Hughes on the attack, gets to the rim, and this time gets the whistle, much to the chagrin of Guilford.
They're going to call Roberts helping over because Walters didn't foul her. But this Walters-Hughes matchup has been fantastic that we've seen on both ends of the floor. Two really good defensive players and really players on the offensive end that never stop moving and play hard, and that's exactly what Hughes did right there. Roberts got caught trying to help over and reached in.
First point of the night for Hughes as the foul shot goes in. She scored in double figures in the final 12 games of the regular season, averaged 15.6 points per game during that contest. Hughes misses the second. Andy Smithy going down seemed to deflect the ball off the leg of Carini, so it will stay with Washington and Lee.
Yeah, she went to the deck for that one. She was just doing everything she could do. Carini did a great job of boxing her out, really knocked her off balance, but Smithy kind of just threw her body parallel to the floor, was able to get her hands on it, and went right off the shin of Carini out of bounds.
7:53 to play in the second period. Guilford 22, W&L 14. Winner will take on either Bridgewater or Roanoke in the semifinal round on Saturday. Megan Horn, baseline inbounds play, having trouble finding someone. Just does beat the 5-second call into Deal. Now Smithy away to Casey. Open right side three is good.
Exact same spot where Smithy found Horn a couple of possessions ago. When you get it on that left low block, the right wing's going to be wide open. Davis cheated a little too far, and Taylor Casey just made that one pure. She just left her hands.
5-point game, 7.5 to play first half. Here is Davis off the screen. Davis, great change of direction to get by Smithy, and she lays it up and in.
And Smithy closed out. She never got down in the stance, and then that was just a nice crossover dribble right there, and Kaylin took it right to the rim.
At the other end, Smithy away to Hughes, who's open, right corner three. That's good. Both offenses clicking right now. It's 24-20 Quakers.
This is what you talked about in the beginning with the offense that Washington and Lee has. If they can start seeing outside shots go in, and it started with that inside-out play, they're going to really be able to get their rhythm and get themselves going. I don't think this is what Guilford wants to do. They don't want to get into a shot-for-shot matchup with Washington and Lee.
W&L 1 of 7 from 3 in the first quarter, has made all 3 of its attempts here in the second. Feed inside for Carini, and then tried to kick it to a Miracle Walters on the baseline. The ball came off the foot of Jordan Deal, so it will go out of bounds to Guilford. Shot clock restored up to 20.
Nice job by Megan Horn that time defensively. Carini had her where she wanted, but she was able to push her under the basket just enough where Carini couldn't catch it and lay it up off the glass.
And it comes to Walters. Another drive by Walters. This time misses the layup. Rebound to Hughes. Deal has it for Washington and Lee. 4-point game, 6.5 to go. Jordan Deal inside out to Hughes. Hughes attacking on Walters. The runner is up and good. Just willed that ball into the basket.
She's so aggressive. When she puts her head down and gets to the basket, you're not going to stop her. Right there, she split a double team right at the rim, was able to knock it down, and now we got ourselves a 2-point game.
24-22, 6:11 to play in the second period. Walters away to Carini. Mid-range jumper up, no good. Golden and Casey battle for the rebound, and Golden takes it away. Now Golden leans around 2 defenders and scores.
Yeah, Casey made 2 mistakes on that play. First, she didn't box out, and then second, she didn't get down in the stance and allowed the offensive player to split the double team.
At the other end, Aaron Hughes, right corner, just hit a 3 from that spot. This time, toe on the line, nails the long 2. Hughes has come to life in the second.
Yeah, and that's what they needed. You got your first-team all-conference player. Like I said, this battle that she's been having right there with Miracle Walters. And I like this defensive move there. Take Hughes off of Walters, put her on Carini, maybe let her catch her legs a little bit better on the defensive end.
Davis drives in off the window and has that spit out by the rim, so the Generals have it a chance to tie or to take their first lead of the game. Casey wide open left side 3, won't go. Battle for the rebound. Carini fins off Groninger.
I thought for sure Casey had that. She was set the whole time. I mean, you'd have thought for sure she'd knock that shot down just a little bit long.
Here is Golden attacking at the other end. Layup is up and good. Lindsey Golden already with 9. The lead back to 4 at the 5-minute mark.
And she looks so much healthier than she did earlier in the season when you saw her play. But right now she's just attacking the rim, and she's just stronger than the people that are guarding.
At the other end, Aaron Hughes misses a contested layup. Quakers have it, 28-24 as it's walked across by Davis.
But this is the pace that Washington and Lee wants. Use that depth, use that bench that they have, which I think is an advantage for them. They want to keep pushing this tempo right here.
Kaylin Davis on the right wing, dribbles back to midcourt and calls the play. Shot clock is at 8. Davis, lost her footing, but able to get the ball away to Walters. Walters down the lane, layup, no. And the rebound secured by Hughes. Megan Horn has it, sprinting up the floor for Washington and Lee. Horn all the way in and lays it up and in off the back iron.
This is the exact pace that they want. They've gotten right back in the game. Miracle Walters is gassed. That's twice we've seen her go where she normally knocks down that left-handed layup. She looks like she's a little bit out of gas right now. They need that media timeout, does Guilford. Walters
has played all 40 minutes 7 times this year. She's second in the conference in minutes played and hasn't left the court so far tonight. Step back three for Roberts. That was nasty.
They needed that. That was a huge shot right there. She took that with a ton of confidence. We talked about it. She's their leading scorer off the bench. They need some points out of her if they want to try and maintain this lead.
31-26, 3:39 to play. Still waiting for that under 5 timeout. Megan Horn has it on the right side. She'll send it away to Hughes. 10 on the shot clock. Hughes the attack, the kick to Horn, but steps first. Tried the jump stop after taking a couple of moves toward the basket, and that will get us to that media timeout. 3:29 to play first half in Salem. It's Guilford 31, Washington and Lee 26 here in the ODAC Women's Basketball Quarterfinals.
I'm probably okay to have one more drink before I drive home. I'm probably okay. I open the window to stay alert. Probably okay. I just popped some gum in my mouth.
Step out of the car, please.
I probably made a mistake.
Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
5-point lead for Guilford. 3 minutes and 29 seconds left in the first half here in Salem. Both of these teams will be in action in the ODAC Men's Hoops quarterfinals coming up on Friday. Guilford will play the 3 o'clock game. The Quakers and Roanoke matching up in the 4-5 contest. Guilford as the number 4 seed and the defending champion, and then Washington and Lee the number 3 seed. First 20-win regular season in over 40 years for Chris McHugh's team. They will take on Lynchburg at 8 o'clock. We'll have coverage of that on WLUR and WLUR All Access, and you can watch every single game all weekend long on the all-new ODAC Sports Network. Quaker basketball, they've got a 5-point lead. Charisma Lynn out front for Guilford. Lynn the drive in, layup good and one. Charisma Lynn has had a very active first half. That's her second basket, but she's been the setup player for this Guilford offense.
And right there, explosive. She caught the ball, nice athletic position. That first step, she blew right by her defender. The help was a little bit late getting there, and that's a 3-point play opportunity. Washington Lee, though, is doing a much better job offensively. They're starting to attack the basket, kick it out, get some clean looks at threes. I don't think they really wanted to see that timeout right there because offensively they were starting to click.
Lynn knocks down the free throw. It's back to an 8-point Guilford lead as we approach the 3-minute mark here in the second period. Aaron Addison away to Megan Horn. Horn the drive, the floater is up, and good. Megan Horn, big scoring half. She's already got 10.
And that was a great play right there. She got that right shoulder into Davis, knocked her off there, and then finished with that left hand. Could have even been another 3-point play.
34-28. Walters from the foul line away to Kristen Roberts. Roberts takes it down the lane, has her shot blocked. It'll be out of bounds to Guilford with the possession clock at 16.
Yeah, Horn, nice job offensively, and then right there with the help side was able to deflect that ball out of bounds because it looked like Guilford was going to get another straight line attack to the basket.
Comes into Walters, gives it up to Lynn. Back across to Kaylin Davis. Screen set by Walters. Davis still has it against Groninger. Bounce pass into the corner. Golden has it, working inside, but steps on the baseline. The defense there for Molly Mann to force the turnover.
Nice job by Mann. Fresh legs coming in. Talk about that depth that Washington Lee has. She's a nice long body, and she was able to force Carini out of bounds there on the baseline. So another turnover for Guilford. I believe that's 8 here in the first half.
Generals have it down 6-2, 23 to play. Aaron Addison on the wing to give to Groninger. Away to Megan Horn. Horn inside to Smithy. Smithy, good shot fake to get Walters out of the way, and she scores.
Nice job right there by Smithy. She got the ball into that shooting pocket, gave a nice head fake, and a rare defensive lapse by Miracle Walters. She left her feet, and that allowed Smithy to get around her for the easy two.
First field goal for Smithy. It's 34-30. Walters at the left elbow, fires up the jumper, no good. Rebounded by Megan Horn.
I would rather, if you're Washington Lee, give up that jump shot than allowing Walters to drive to the basket.
Aaron Addison for three. The ball came inside to Smithy, fed back to the wing. And the three ball no good. And then I believe a Washington Lee foul on the rebound. There is indeed a whistle against Jordan Deal.
Yeah, I think they were caught on Deal because it went off the hands of the Guilford player, but they're going to say she came in, elevated, and drew contact with that lower body.
First foul on Deal, just the second team foul on Washington Lee this quarter. Guilford's only been whistled for one, so nowhere near the bonus with a minute 34 to play. 34-30 Quakers. Davis to the foul line, away to Roberts. Comes around to Davis, screen, takes it down the lane, the floater off the glass, and good.
Yeah, she and Lynn are so quick with that dribble. That was a great crossover hesitation. She blew by the defense and got a little lucky there, laying it off the glass straight away.
Groninger at the other end, down low. Gives it away to Addison. Lob to the baseline. Somehow made it through to Smithy, but then she travels.
And that right there was a nice scramble defensively. You had two guards that doubled down on Smithy. She didn't see that defensive help coming from the weak side. When she did, she tried to stop her dribble and travel with the basketball.
Minute 10 to play before the break. 36-30 Quakers. If you're tuned into the WLUR broadcast, you'll hear from Aaron Hughes at halftime, the first team all-conference performer, sitting down in the WLUR studio earlier this week. Now a three ball in the way for Golden. That's no good. Generals will give her that shot all day. Here comes Megan Horn with 50 seconds left. Horn to the left wing, out front to Deal. Deal, bounce pass to the corner. Got through to Smithy. Feed away to Addison on the wing. She's left alone. She'll fire up the three. It's no good. Generals just 4 of 13 from beyond the arc. Quakers have it, 34 to go. They've got a 6-point lead, scored the first 7 points of the game, and have been in front ever since.
You need one good defensive stop here, though, if you're the Generals. You've got to keep them out of the paint, force another jump shot, and see if you can get a transition basket to end the half.
Golden around a Walter screen, into the paint, away to Roberts, ready to shoot the three. It's short. And the rebound grabbed by Lynn, who's fouled on the way back up. And again, the Quakers have been so good on the glass tonight, +9 in rebounding margin as Lynn heads to the line.
8th offensive rebound, and they got exactly what they wanted. They forced a long three. They just weren't able to stop the box out. And there's Lynn again, using that athleticism, getting inside this time with the offensive rebound and a chance to knock down a couple free throws.
5 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists already for Lynn, the rookie out of Raleigh. First free throw rattles home. She has started all but 2 games this season. Been a big part of the backcourt all year long for Stephanie Flamini's team. 37-30, 11.6 to go. In and out in the second. Generals have it, plenty of time to get off a good shot. Megan Horn eyes the clock as she crosses the timeline. Horn will drive in, gets stuffed by Lynn. It's a held ball. Washington Lee will keep it on the alternating possession. 3.6 seconds remaining.
I'd like to get the ball into Smithy in the paint here, see if they can collapse the defense, kick it out for a quick three right at the buzzer.
Horn will inbound from down low. Feed to Hughes at the foul line. Quick release on the jumper, no good. Grabbed by Davis, and that'll take us to the break. Guilford, Richie, a 37-30 halftime lead here in Salem.
I mean, shooting 50% from the field. If you do that, you've got a chance to win any basketball game that you play. Right now, Washington Lee had the really slow start. They were able to push that rock up the hill, got all the way back, but haven't been able to take their first lead of the game. Guilford doing a really good job of attacking the basket, using the offensive glass, and like I said, knocking down 50% of their shots. And that way they've got this 7-point lead going into the break.
37-30, number 7 seed on top. You're listening to our coverage of the ODAC basketball tournament on WLUR and WLUR All Access, powered by First Team Broadcasting. Video tonight on the ODAC Sports Network. Time now for a visit with Washington Lee's first team All ODAC selection. Joining me now is Aaron Hughes, junior from Raleigh, North Carolina. Aaron, thanks again for sitting down with me.
Thank you so much for having me, Jeremy.
Lots of program history has already been made by Washington Lee this year. You had the 10-game winning streak, which broke the previous mark. First time that a WNL women's basketball team has ever earned a share of the regular season title in the conference. How do you put that in perspective as you now get ready for the postseason?
I'm so proud of my team. I think that we've, as a program, made a lot of growth even since the time I stepped foot on campus. And I was talking with Taylor, Casey, and Andy Smithy and Molly Mann about how when they got here, they lost in the quarterfinals, and then my freshman year, their sophomore year, we got to the semifinals, and then last year we got to the championship game. Had an unfortunate loss, but I think that shows how much this program has grown and how proud I am of the group of girls we have now and what we've been able to do on this campus. I think going into this championship season or this championship game and tournament, I think we just need to remember what's gotten us here and keep relying on each other, because I think we have made a lot of strides as a program, and I see us finally getting to that end goal of actually getting to that championship game and having a better outcome.
So you alluded to the 2019 championship. That was obviously a disappointment to make it that far and not be able to win the title. I know that was a major motivating factor for the offseason. Was there a point this year where maybe that has been put in the past, or is that something that you guys still think about?
Well, I would like to say it's something that has been in the past, but we've had 2 games this year that I think have really gotten us back into that mindset of unfinished business and prompted us to remember that we haven't finished anything yet. And I think the first of that was Holland before that Christmas break, and we were not expecting to lose that game, obviously, but we, after that, reevaluated, set some new goals, and then after that, we went on that 10-0 win streak, and I think that kind of reminded us of that feeling when we were in the locker room after that Shenandoah game of we're not invincible. Anyone at any given night can take us down, and I think that Holland's game reminded us of that. And then what ended our 10-win streak was that Randolph-Macon game on the road, and I think at that point we were no one in the ODAC can touch us, kind of counting our eggs before they hatched. And I think that Randolph-Macon game again reminded us that the league is very competitive and that on any given night anyone can win. So I think this unfinished business mantra that we've developed has really been applicable this season, and I think it's fresh in our minds going into the tournament, which is good. A good reminder of where we were last year and where we want to finish this year.
I'm going to step away from the Washington Elite team for a minute. You've had a chance to be involved with the Rockbridge County program. Tell us about how you've been able to work with the Wildcats this winter.
Yeah, so Emily Mahood, she's a sophomore over at Rockbridge now, and she reached out to Clancy early in the fall, expressing interest of being a collegiate athlete and being able to come to some of our open gyms and come to games and stuff. And she came out to a couple of our open gyms, which was great to see her there and see that love for the game at a young age in a small town. And it prompted me to say, I want to reach out. I want to help the community that's here. And so I reached out to Emily and I said, hey, Emily, can you pass along the head coach contact information? And so I texted Misty Armstrong and I said, hey, I don't know how much I'll be able to help, but I would love to have any sort of role, because I think it's so important to give back and serve as a role model for these girls, especially in a small town that you do see a lot of poverty. And I think it's important to be a role model for these girls and show them that higher education is possible and that being a basketball player is possible even if you are a woman. And I think that's very core to who I am, so I wanted to pass that along to the next generation, if you will. And it's kind of fun because, one of their point guards, she's going to be playing at Eastern Mennonite next year, so I'll get to play against her. And one of the center, Misty's daughter, actually, she will be playing volleyball at Bridgewater, and we keep the books for the Bridgewater games, and so I'll be able to watch her play when she comes to WNL. And so I just think it's so cool to be able to cultivate these relationships and give back. I think that's something that I really want to do throughout my 4 years here. So it was great. Also a little fun being on the coaching side. I've thought about going into coaching a little bit, and although I don't love to sit on the bench as a player, I think it was a very different perspective being on the coaching staff, if you will, and being able to watch these girls grow and having them come to me for advice and looking up to me was a great experience, and I'm so, so glad that I was able to go when I could and make those relationships.
I want to talk more about the Generals now. You had a few tough offensive games, especially toward the end of December, beginning of January, but double figures in 12 straight games. You've had 3 20-point games during that stretch. What has led to your success on the offensive end?
Yeah, so I have been battling this season with some injuries, and I think at the beginning of the season I kind of let those take priority, and I would wrap them and go to treatment all the time and kind of focused on those. And then I was like, you know what, it's a labral tear. It's not going to get any better. I just need to push through and focus on basketball. So I had a little bit of a mind shift there. And so now I'm not babying it as much, and I'm just kind of playing through that injury. And I think that kind of led me to just kind of relax, get back to basketball, just have fun, reset. And I mean, this is such a talented team. We've been blessed to have the same starting five for the past 2 seasons, which is that's pretty rare. And just being able to have that chemistry with these girls. And I mean, Taylor Casey's a great offensive scorer. Andy Smithy can put up great points on any given night. Megan Horn, Jordan Deal, they've all had double figure appearances. And I think when you and great scoring options off the benches too. And I think when you have that many weapons on the bench and on the court, it's pretty hard to guard everyone. And I think just being able to play together, have that chemistry, putting trust in who's on the floor on any given night has really developed great offensive looks for everybody. And I think that has resulted in me being able to take the lead in some of those positions and, look for more driving lanes because Taylor has people glued to her on the wing, and that's allowed me to take more control in the paint. So I think it's a team thing. I think we've been playing really well together. So, yeah.
The goal is an ODAC title. How do you get there?
One game at a time. I think last year we did a really great job of focusing on every single game and winning every single game, every single play, every single possession. Until that last one, I think once we saw Shenandoah in the championship game, I think we got a little ahead of ourselves, pretty confident that we would come home with that title. And I think that needs to serve as a reminder that, we need to take every game seriously, can't take any plays off. So right now, that means taking care of Guilford and making sure we win that game, because obviously we're not going to get to the championship if we don't take care of Guilford first.
Erin, thanks again for your time. Best of luck in Salem.
Thanks so much, Jeremy.
Erin Hughes visiting with us in the WLUR studio. Her team trails Guilford 37-30. Halftime here. The ODAC women's basketball quarterfinals in Salem as the 7th-seeded Quakers try to upset the 2nd-seeded Generals. We will take a very short break and come back with more here on WLUR and WLUR All Access, powered by First Team Broadcasting.
3, 2, 1. Oh no. Which button am I?
When every second counts, you can't wing it.
Guys, a little help up here?
In a home fire, you may have less than 2 minutes to get out. So make a family home fire escape plan. Then practice home fire drills at least twice a year so everyone knows what to do when they hear. Prepare your family at ready.gov/fire drill. Brought to you by FEMA, the Ad Council, and Make Safe Happen.
Melissa from Michigan. I work an extra part-time job serving lunch at my child's school, but I still can't afford to put food on our table.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Halftime of tonight's 3rd quarterfinal in the ODAC women's basketball tournament. And the number 7 seed Guilford leads the number 2 seed Washington and Lee 37-30. Jeremy Franklin and Richie Wagoner back with you. We talked about the matchup of the Guilford defense versus the Washington and Lee offense. But what about the way the Quakers played offensively in that first half? 16 of 33 from the field. The Stars came to play. Miracle Walters and Lindsey Golden combined for 17 points. But then those 2 rookie guards, Charisma Lynn and Kristen Roberts, had 13 points between them. Maybe one of the better offensive halves Guilford has put together this year.
Well, 22 points in the second quarter alone. They've come to play here on the offensive end, and they've done it all by penetration, right? It started out the game. Lynn was able to get inside, penetrate 3 straight times. They were able to go 3 for 3 on their first 3 possessions, and that got them started. And then they started picking it up on the rebound again. They're holding a 22-13 edge on the glass is Guilford right now, and 8 of those are on the offensive end. So when you're getting second chance opportunities, if the penetration has come, that breaks down the defense, and it's harder to box out. You get second chances, and a lot of those second chances they've converted to easy baskets.
Combination of attacking the rim and those offensive rebounds, and 24 of Guilford's 37 points in the first half came in the paint. Switching gears, looking at Washington and Lee, Megan Horn, not always known for her scoring. She's a pass-first player with all the other offensive options, but saw something she could exploit in the Guilford defense and had 10 points in the first half.
Well, and it's her size. Right now they had Kaylin Davis-Gardner, and that's a huge mismatch right there. And she started recognizing that. She went in, and she's able to finish with that left hand. She's taking it into the right-hand side with that right shoulder to draw the contact, but then she's able to switch back to that strong side, that left-handed side, and finish. And she's had a three-point play and a couple of other opportunities. She's also done a good job defensively, helping off on other players, knocked the ball out of bounds a couple times. Washington Lee not in bad shape right now considering the start that they had. 20 points there in that second quarter. They really started heating it up on the offensive end. At one point they were shooting about 21%. I think they got up to about 40% there with a huge second quarter.
Beyond Horns 10, Aaron Hughes, who did not score in the first period, had 8 points in the second. Taylor Casey had a couple of threes, 4 points, 3 assists for Andy Smithy, 2 points for Jordan Deal. The individual numbers for Guilford: Lindsey Golden, 9, Miracle Walters, 8. Christian Roberts had 7, Charisma Lynn, 6, Kaylin Davis, 5, and Manel Dunlap, 2. Another thing to circle, the bench scoring, 9-0 Guilford, the 7 from Roberts, the 1 bucket for Manel Dunlap, and not a single bench point for Washington and Lee. Top 5 scorers for the Generals are in the starting lineup, but they have to have some kind of production from the substitutes tonight.
Well, you would think that Addison could help you out, get it out in transition, maybe hit a shot. She's having a couple of clean looks at threes, just not able to knock them down. But right now, Guilford kind of owning every statistical category other than those free throws where Washington Lee's 4 for 5 from the stripe, and that's helped to at least keep it to a single-digit game, because right now it's essentially been all Guilford this first 20 minutes of play.
Again, a 37-30 halftime lead for the Quakers. Our nightcap tonight, number 3 Bridgewater and number 6 Roanoke. The winner of that will meet the winner of this game at 3 o'clock Saturday, Leap Day, in the ODAC semifinals. We talked about Washington and Lee and Emory and Henry in a competition for the regular season title, but Bridgewater was in the mix all the way to the final week of the regular season. If the Eagles had beaten E&H in their final game on Saturday, they would be the 2. Washington and Lee would have finished in first place outright. Sarah Matthews did a great job with that team, and then meanwhile, a very, very talented Maroons team will take the floor against them.
Well, Bridgewater had the lead going into the fourth quarter down at Emory and Henry in that game last Saturday, so they had every opportunity. Bridgewater really the surprise of the ODAC, losing what they've lost last year with the scoring that they lost, and they were able to replace it. The way they play is different than anybody else in the ODAC except for Roanoke. 2 teams that are kind of mirror images of one another. They like to get out, they like to play good pressure defense, and they like to run. Both teams like to get out in transition. So it should be pretty much a track meet here at 8 o'clock with those 2 teams. Back in the Kreger Center earlier in the year, Roanoke kind of dominated the game, and then at the end, the pressure of Bridgewater started turning them over. They started taking some shots early in the shot clock, and ended up being a 4 or 5 point game.
First semifinal on the women's side is set. It will be the number 1 seed Emory and Henry against number 4 Randolph-Macon. The Wasps able to get by the number 8 seed Lynchburg 61-57 this afternoon, and then the Yellow Jackets rolled past the defending tournament champion Shenandoah 75-48. And don't forget the men's quarterfinals coming up on Friday. Guilford plays Roanoke at 3. Washington and Lee plays Lynchburg at 8. The other 2 games, Randolph-Macon, Hampton-Sydney at 1 o'clock. And then Virginia Wesleyan and Ferrum at 6. You can watch all of those games on the ODAC Sports Network, and we'll have live coverage of the WNL Lynchburg quarterfinal at 8 o'clock here on WLUR and WLUR All Access. Jeremy Franklin, Richie Wagner with you courtside here at the Salem Civic Center. 37-30 Guilford. Expectations for what we'll see in the second half.
Well, I'd like to see Washington Lee get back to what was really working there in the second quarter, and that is offensively getting the ball inside to Smithy on the block and letting her use a skip pass to get some clean looks. Aaron Hughes got a couple of clean looks, a 3 and a long 2. Horn got a wide open look at a 3, as did Taylor Casey. When they were able to get the ball inside and make that defense collapse, it's a whole lot easier to kick it out. Other than that, they've really been taking some kind of questionable shots early in the shot clock from deep that have been contested. So they need to get back to that execution that they did there in that stretch in the second quarter when they made it a 2-point game.
Both coaches sending out their starting lineups. That'll be Walters, Lynn, Davis, Golden, and Carini for Guilford against Casey, Hughes, Horn, Deal, and Smithy.
And Golden and Walters played all 20 minutes, and you could see that last 5 minutes of the first half, both of them really fatigued, weren't able to knock down their shots on the offensive end. If you're Washington Lee defensively, you got to keep those 2 out of the paint here to start the second half.
Golden has it out front, hands off to Lynn. And now a left side pass to Kaylin Davis, into the corner to Walters. Walters the skip to Carini on the right side. Carini away to Walters at the elbow. Walters attacking and forces that one off the glass and in.
They ran it down to 5 seconds on the shot clock. They didn't panic. They got it to Walters. Hughes closed out, left her feet. Walters drove right around her, and that's what I was talking about. She's got her legs back after that halftime break, and she was able to convert that left-handed layup.
Walters has 10. Guilford with a 9-point lead, matching its biggest of the night. Smithy from the foul line away to Aaron Hughes. Hughes going inside to Smithy. Spins around on Carini, misses the 6-footer. Taylor Casey the offensive rebound. The layup is good.
Nice job, Davis. Lost Casey there on the offensive glass, and Washington Lee gave Guilford a little taste of their own medicine. Got a second chance opportunity by crashing the offensive glass.
Generals again the second best rebounding team in the ODAC, trailing only Randolph-Macon. But a big margin for Guilford, +9 on the boards in the first 2 quarters. 39-32 Quakers, 8:45 left in the third. Lynn will pull up, wanted to shoot the jumper. It's not there, gives to Walters. Back it comes to Davis. Deep 3 left side, won't go. Good defense by the Generals. Here comes Jordan Deal. Casey spotting up in the corner. Deal finds her. Casey, open 3 is up and good.
Nice transition 3 right there. That's what we talked about, Washington Lee. They forced a great stop that time defensively. They never let Guilford get into the interior, almost caused a travel twice, was able to turn that transition into a wide open 3, and just like that, right back in the game.
4-point margin. Walters from the elbow away to Golden in the left corner. 12 on the shot clock. Golden into the lane. Posting up on Hughes, leaves it for Carini. Dish back out to Lynn, 5 to shoot. Lynn takes it down low, shot blocked by Horn, rebounded by Deal. Another transition look for the Generals. Horn leads the break. Bounce pass trying to thread the needle to Smithy, and it's poked out by Miracle Walters.
Right there, Hughes has got a call for the ball. She was the trail 3-point shooter at the top of the key, and she was wide open. They took the ball into the teeth of the defense, drew the defenders, but didn't kick it out.
Easy look off the inbounds. Megan Horn sets up Smithy for a wide open layup. The lead is down to 2.
And don't be surprised to see Coach Flamini take a timeout here. You don't want to give up this lead. You've had it throughout the whole game. And what happens is when you force a team to play from behind the whole game, it wears on them.
Walters to post up the bucket, got away from Smithy, finished off the back iron.
And there are those legs. She's got her legs back. She's looking good here to start the second half.
41-37, 7:25 to play. Hughes takes it inside, post up and scores.
And Carini left her feet on the double team right there, and Hughes did a great job of spinning back to that strong side on the left side and knocked it down.
41-39, Guilford, 7:10 to play. Top of the key, Walters, left side to Davis. Davis looking out front for Lynn, stolen away by Hughes. One-on-one in transition with Lynn. Hughes the step around, misses the layup. Rebound knocked into the hands of Casey. Then Lynn made some contact and will be assessed with the foul.
Nice job by Hughes. So many times you see a steal like that and they come down when they miss that layup. Nobody hustles back on the defensive end or offensive end to help out. That time Casey did a great job. Got there, was able to get the second opportunity, and now here's another offensive rebound that gives Washington Lee a chance to tie it up or even take the lead.
In it comes to Hughes, another missed layup. That one was contested, and the Quakers have the rebound.
Dunlop got away with a little bit of contact right there. Hughes went into the body. No call by the officials.
Manel Dunlop, Kristen Roberts to check back in for Guilford, which leads by 2. Golden left alone on the perimeter and sinks the 3.
But defensively, you want them to take that shot. That's really not a good shot. I know it went in, but they really didn't run any kind of offense and just jacked up a 3.
Taylor Casey answers off the feed for Megan Horn, open on the left side. Right back down to a 2-point game.
Right now, I'll take my chances if I'm Washington Lee. If Taylor Casey gets her shoulders and her hips square to the basket, she's going to knock down those shots.
4 of 9 from 3-point range in this game now. Leads all scorers with 14. Roberts on the left wing. Roberts dribbles to the elbow, a step-back triple. That is short, and Horn corrals her 5th rebound, ships it ahead to Casey. Good closeout by Davis in transition. Casey was looking for another 3. Instead, it's Horn on the attack. The runner is up and good, and this game is tied.
Nice job of body control there by Horn. She didn't go all the way into the defender. Miracle Walters was set up to take the charge, kind of did a little flop there, but Horn did a great job of going straight up and down, no charge, and we're all tied up.
44 apiece, 5:39 left in the period. Golden out front, sends it across to Davis. Davis off the dribble, elbow jumper, no good. Offensive board for Dunlap, and the ball knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Guilford as Kate Groninger and Molly Mann check in for the Generals.
This is the pace that you want for your Washington Lee, and now you go to that bench and put 3 subs in. You want to keep this frantic right here. You want to get up and down the floor and try and wear Guilford out.
Erin Addison late to the scorer's table, but she is on the court as well. Deal and Casey stay out there. Walters, great shot fake off the inbounds, an even better look, the pass to Dunlap for the open layup. Guilford back in front.
If you leave your feet defensively against Miracle Walters, she's going to make you pay, whether she scores or right there where she got the easy dish.
Averages 3 assists per game to lead this Guilford team. 46-44. Deal deep right corner away to Casey. Out front to Addison. Left side, Groninger sees an open look. 3 ball is good. Washington and Lee has its first lead of the game.
And it took them 25 minutes to get there, but they've finally done a good job, and that's what I was talking about. There's that inside out. You skip it to the weak side, and Groninger was able to knock it down.
Groninger had a 22-point game against Roanoke on this court in the semifinals last year. 47-46. W. Davis has it, sends it right baseline to Walters. Walters away to Golden. 7 to shoot. Golden gets by everybody and scores.
And that was a good job right there. They used both sides of the floor. They penetrated from the left. It wasn't there. And then the penetration came back from the right. There was no help side left in the middle of the paint. And Golden just laid it in off the glass.
Quakers back in front, 48-47. Addison on the left wing. Good first step to get inside, but then throws it away. Kristen Roberts the steal. It's 1-on-3. And the rookie will wisely slow things down. Davis between the circles, dribbles to the right side as we approach the 4-minute mark here in the third. Guilford up 1. Now Davis on the attack, gets into the corner, feeds out front to Dunlap, away to Walters. Walters going down the lane against Deal, layup no. Rebound batted around, controlled by Addison. Generals, do they have a 3-on-2? Just about. Casey, quick release on the 3, no. Deal the rebound. Back out it comes to Groninger. Her running layup is no good in traffic, and Walters secures it.
Now watch Guilford here. Slow it down on this possession. It's getting a little too frantic for him right now. And a nice job there, though, by Casey. I'll take that transition opportunity at the 3 because it opens up offensive rebounding opportunities.
Golden to the right corner to Walters. Back out to Davis on the wing. 12 on the shot clock. Golden gets it back, looking for another 3. That's good. Her third three-pointer of the night, Lindsey Golden. Now with 17, Guilford up 4.
Nice patience right there by Guilford. They've done a good job. They've kind of withstood this Washington and Lee run, and now they're trying to see if they can rebuild this lead.
Molly Mann misses the 3, and then Jordan Deal climbs the back of Davis on the rebound and picks up her second foul. That'll take us to a timeout as well. Washington and Lee briefly in front for the first time tonight. Guilford answering with 5 in a row, and with 3:05 left in the third, it's the Quakers 51 and Washington and Lee 47. Back for more ODAC quarterfinal action in Salem in just a moment.
Is that a faucet running?
That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink.
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
I didn't know the trees were so amazing.
Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb.
That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Guilford 51, Washington and Lee 47, 3:05 to play here in the third quarter. Lindsey Golden, the sophomore from Stokesdale, the ODAC and D3Hoops.com South Region Rookie of the Year last season. Didn't have one injury to deal with early this year. It was actually 2. It was a knee problem and an ankle issue. She missed 5 games altogether. Took her a long time to get back to form. But the last 6 games, averaging almost 14 points and 9 rebounds. She averaged a double-double as a first year in 2018-19. And Golden has been tremendous tonight, 17 points already.
Well, right now they needed that halftime break. She and Miracle Walters both ran out of gas right there in the last 5 minutes of the first half. And this pace right here for Washington Lee has done a really good job of trying to take those legs away. So even though they're behind right now, Washington Lee, and they've got the pace that they want to have, can Guilford continue playing the minutes they are with Davis, Golden and Walters, can they continue to play at this pace?
An offensive foul called on Guilford. It's the first on Walters, so the Generals have it. Dunlap almost got a steal out front. Smithy hangs on. Now Hughes on the wing. Hughes on the drive. Walters reaching in to poke the ball away. It'll be out of bounds to W now with a shot clock at 19.
Nice recognition by Aaron Hughes right there. She saw she had the slower post player on her, drove right by her. Walters was able to help out and knock it out of bounds. Lucky it didn't go off Hughes' leg.
Horn, the inbounds play to Aaron Hughes for 2. Second time the Generals have gotten an easy bucket from the baseline inbounds pass.
Nice job right there. And there's Hughes. We saw this in the first half. She went scoreless for the long time. Then once she hit one basket, she scored a bunch in a hurry. See if she can pick it up here on the offensive end for the Generals.
Dunlap on the attack. A wild miss. The rebound tapped to her by Golden. She feeds the cutting Roberts. Count the basket and a foul.
It's another offensive rebound. Led to a second chance opportunities. When you get an offensive rebound, the defense is not in the right position. And right there, Roberts just beat Addison to her spot, scored, and has a chance at a three-point play.
Quakers in double digits now with offensive rebounds. Roberts free throw, no good, and Dunlap over the back on the rebound. This time it's Guilford 53, WDL 49. 2:19 left in the third. That is the third personal on Manel Dunlap.
Taylor Casey was able to get a little break in that timeout, and she bought her another minute on there. But she's been the catalyst here in the second half. She's hit those shots in transition on the outside. Had to get her back in the game as soon as she possibly could.
14 tonight for Casey, who owns the WNL postseason scoring record. Had 32 in a first-round game against Roanoke as a rookie. That was at the Water Center back in Lexington. Generals with possession, down 4. Smithy gets it at the free throw line. Squares to the rim against Carini. Check back in after Dunlap left. Now Horn, the drive and dish. Casey right side 3 is up, no good. And the rebound to Roberts.
Guilford dodges the bullet there because Taylor Casey was wide open on that penetration again by Horn. Penetrating with her head up under control. Can't be more impressed with Megan Horn than I am here tonight.
First player in WNL history to have more than 100 assists in each of her first 2 seasons. And there's a block from Horn on the Golden drive. Horn comes away with the basketball. Always has her head up here. In transition, Hughes is left alone. Long jumper is good. A toe on the three-point line, so it's a deep 2.
But that's what we talked about. Hughes got that easy basket on the out-of-bounds play. Now she's got a transition opportunity. Knocked it down. Nice to see her get going here, give Casey some help on the offensive end.
53-51. Quakers up 2. Minute 20 left in the third quarter. Golden the attack. Got down low, the spin move, missed the layup, but a foul on Aaron Hughes will send Golden to the line for the first time tonight.
And that bailed her out there. The difference between that possession with Golden and the possession 4 when Horn got the block was that time Golden was able to get her body into the defender, and when the offensive player makes contact on that defensive player, they control the situation, and that was the difference in those 2 plays.
Second personal on Hughes. Golden is not a great foul shooter, just 64% on the season and off target on the first one. Minute 16 left. Another chance for Golden to push the Guilford lead to 3. And she knocks that down for her 18th point.
When you talked about those lower leg injuries, that's going to affect your free throw shooting. Free throw shooting, 90% of it your legs, and not able to get going in any kind of rhythm during the season.
Smithy going inside to Casey, lost her footing, feathered the ball back out to Horn. Inside to Smithy, outside to Deal, who launches the 3. That's no good. Aaron Hughes saving in the rebound, but it comes to Carini. And now Guilford might have numbers on the break. Davis, long bounce pass, a hard bounce pass to Walters. Misses the shot down low. It's rebounded by Deal. Outlet to Hughes, one-on-one with Davis. Hughes is called for an offensive foul. That's a tough one against the Generals.
Yeah, that really was good defense by Davis. She committed to trying to take that charge. She beat Hughes to the spot. Hughes made the contact, went for that little spin move, and Davis went down. Tough call on Hughes right there, but Davis did a good job of moving her feet defensively.
And it's also the third personal on Hughes, so it's Guilford basketball leading 54-51, 45 seconds left in the third.
And that hurts because Aaron Hughes had finally started getting going offensively there late in the third quarter, and now she's going to take a seat.
Chance for a 2-for-1 perhaps for the Quakers. Kaylin Davis handles it on the right wing. Now we're into the final 30 seconds of the quarter. Golden stops on the baseline, gives it up to Walters. Walters away to Carini. in the left corner. Hands off to Roberts. 6 on the shot clock. Roberts, the leaner around Smithy. Tough shot up and in.
She's so quick. When you get a guard that gets on a post player there inside, is able to finish with her left hand like that, it's almost unstoppable.
10 seconds left in the quarter. Carini blocks Smithy down low. Out of bounds to Washington and Lee. 7.7 to go.
But this is where Washington Lee's excel. They've had 3 straight out-of-bounds plays where they've gotten a nice, clean look. See if they can get one here to try and wrestle away some of this momentum going to the fourth.
Try to make it a one-possession game into Casey. 10-footer up, good with 5 seconds left. Still time maybe for Guilford. Golden gets it back from Walters. Golden half-court heave. Don't think would have counted. Alex Lee waves it off. And we got a one-possession game going into the final 10 minutes. 7 seeds still on top. It's Guilford 56 and Washington and Lee 53. Come right back for more coverage of the ODAC women's basketball quarterfinals here in Salem.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Coverage of the ODAC basketball tournament coming to you on WLUR Lexington 91.5 FM and WLUR All Access video tonight on the ODAC Sports Network. Alongside Richie Waggoner, I'm Jeremy Franklin. Start of the fourth quarter here at the Salem Civic Center, and we've got a good one going on. The 7th-seed Guilford is led for 28 and a half minutes tonight. The margin currently 3, 56 to 53.
And Washington Lee, though, did a really good job in that period. They came in down 7. They came all the way back, got their first lead of the game. So many times you see a team when they start out the game the way they did and falling behind by double-digit points, it's hard when you're trying to push that rock uphill all game long because it keeps rolling down on top of you. They were able to get it over the top, but a credit to Guilford, especially those with Miracle Walters and Gaulden, doing a really good job of attacking the basket, keeping it in the game. But Kristen Roberts off the bench really has been the difference here so far.
Each team already with 3 in double figures. 18 for Gaulden, 12 for Walters, and then 11 for Roberts. On the general side, Taylor Casey, 16 points. He is 4 of 11 from 3. Most of the 11 have been good looks as well. 14 for Hughes, 12 points, 5 assists for Megan Horn. Generals basketball to begin the fourth period. They've got Groninger, Casey, Deal, Horn, and one more hiding behind Julie Carini. That's Andy Smithy. So it's Carini, Walters, Gaulden, Roberts, and Davis for Guilford. Winner moves on to Saturday's semifinals against either Bridgewater or Roanoke. Casey on the attack. It's the Guilford center moving and draws the foul on Julie Carini. 2 free throws for the ODAC's best foul shooter.
And a nice job by there by Casey. She got into the body of the shot blocker, and that's going to lead to the foul.
And Taylor Casey, a rare miss at the free throw line. She comes in at 87.9%. In line to set the program career record. Very rarely misses 2 in a game, and she knocks down the second to pull W&L to within 2. 87% for her career, the senior from Brentwood, Tennessee. 56-54 Guilford. Miracle Walters, foul line extended left side away to Davis. Davis back to Walters. Walters into the lane. Terrific pass. The setup for Julie Carini for her first points of the night.
That's what I talked about. When they penetrate from one side of the floor, somebody's always on that weak side at the rim. And that's 3 times now Walters has been able to penetrate by our player, draw the defender, and drop it off for a teammate.
At the other end, inside it comes to Kate Groninger, who posts up and scores.
And they're going to need somebody else with Hughes on the bench to step up. Horn's done a pretty good job so far, but somebody's got to step up and be that secondary scorer until Aaron Hughes can get back in the game.
Megan Horn just got her 6th assist of the game. It's back to a 2-point margin. Gaulden at the other end. Lob inside to Walters. One-on-one with Deal. Walters the spin, the layup, no. Battle for the rebound, and it's snatched away by the Generals leader in that department, Jordan Deal. Here comes Megan Horn, 3-on-3. Casey shot fake, Casey inside. The runner is up and good, and a free throw coming. Taylor Casey just tied the game, and she can put W&L back in front at the line.
And that's twice she's taken it right to the 6-footer and gotten to the free throw line both times. Now a chance to complete the 3-point play. and give Washington Lee that elusive lead that they've only seen for a few seconds here tonight.
Taylor Casey looking for point number 20, knocks down the free throw, so she's got it, and it's 59-58 Generals with 8:38 to play. Second straight 20-point game for Casey. Had a bunch of them early in the season. A more balanced scoring attack after Casey was a first-team all-conference selection last year, but what an answer. Kaylin Davis buries the three for Guilford.
Davis, Golden, nor Walters has left the floor tonight for Guilford. They're going to play all 40 minutes if the Quakers are going to have a chance to pull off this upset.
61-59 Guilford. Aaron Hughes shot blocked by Carini. Nice roll to the rim, good feed from Groninger, but even better defense from Julie Carini.
And that's where you should see most of your shot blocks coming from behind or the help side, and that's what happened there. There was some space.
Golden at the other end buries another three. Guilford is 7 of 14 from beyond the arc. Lindsey Golden has 21, and Guilford with back-to-back triples. Back in front, 64-59.
And that's what we've seen all game long. Anytime Washington Lee has gotten ahead, they came all the way back, took that 1-point lead in the third. A three came right away, and now back-to-back threes after the 1-point lead, and Guilford once again up by 5.
We'll take a short break. Guilford 64-59 in front with 7:56 to play.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
We got a 5-point game under 8 to play. Washington and Lee is twice led by 1 point, but for a very short amount of time. Guilford answering with back-to-back threes, one from Davis, another from Golden. 64-59 Quakers. Generals have the basketball coming out of the timeout. Megan Horn, top of the key. Step-back three is good.
Not sure that's the play that they drew up coming out of that timeout, but you'll take it if you're a Generals fan. Not so sure that was a great shot, but Megan Horn having a really good game here tonight.
Horn's got a dozen, along with 6 rebounds and 6 assists, and for good measure, 3 blocks. Generals within 2. Golden driving in on Horn. Pins her down low, layup good, and 1.
And you called it. She pinned her. She got her on that right shoulder. She drew the contact and then was able to kind of fade away. And we saw it before where Horn's gotten those block shots when she's kept some space there. That time, Carini went all the way in, drew the contact, and now a chance at the old-fashioned three-point play.
And Golden nails the foul shot. She's got 24 tonight, and it's 67-62 Quakers. That's a season high for the sophomore. Casey for 3. That's good for Washington and Lee, right back within 2.
That's the first time in about the last 5.5 minutes that Kaylin Davis has lost her. She lost her for just a split second, and Casey made her pay.
5th 3 tonight for Casey, who's got 23. 67-65 Quakers. Golden ball in her hands again on the drive and tied up there by Deal. Got all basketball. It will stay with Guilford on the alternating possession.
Nice job by Deal. Never left her feet that entire defensive possession. Stayed down, didn't let Carini drive around her and tied her up for the loose ball. But the possession will stay with Guilford.
Quakers up 2 with 7:05 to play, in for a grandstand finish. And the first game of our evening session at the ODAC Women's Basketball Quarterfinals. Into Charisma Lynn, post up, no. Smithy lost the rebound and then ties up Golden. Andy Smithy came flying in after losing the basketball initially, managed to get all ball, and since that last held ball went to Guilford, this one goes to W&L.
Unfortunately for Golden, it looked like Smithy, when she went out there and tied that up, rolled up her left leg a little bit. Golden favoring that left leg that she's got the brace on. Hopefully she didn't re-injure that on that play.
Smithy gets it at the free throw line. Shot fake, the drive and dish, looking for Addison. It's poked out of bounds by Charisma Lynn.
Yeah, that was the mistake Smithy made. When she's penetrated and skipped it to the opposite side is when they've got some clean looks at threes. That time she tried to do it on the strong side, and the ball was knocked out of bounds.
Generals have it a 2 to tie, a 3 to take the lead. They've only had that on a couple of occasions in this game. Aaron Hughes, wing left side, travels. Shuffled her feet after the shot fake against Walters.
And she knows it too. She was debating on whether to take that three-pointer or not. She was kind of squared up for it. Got her feet a little bit out of whack there and moved that pivot foot.
These two teams played in the ODAC quarterfinals 2 years ago. It was 79-77 WNL. Looks like we may have a similar finish here tonight. 67-65 Guilford, 6:21 to play. Davis up the right wing to Lynn. Carini offers the screen. Lynn goes the other way, gets inside and lays it up and in.
And how many times have we seen that this game with Charisma Lynn just getting into the interior? That time, no help side came. She blew right by Addison, laid it right up off the glass.
Smithy, foul line jumper is up and good. Carini giving her space. Smithy knocks it down.
Yeah, she's going to have to take that. They've made an adjustment. They have got laid off of her at the foul line now to try and stop that penetration. She had to take that shot, and she was able to knock it down.
Guilford up 69-67, 5:47 remaining. Loose ball out front. Aaron Hughes going for the steal. She's going to pick up her fourth foul instead.
I don't know about that. I thought she had position on Davis right there. It looked like Davis came over the top and committed that foul. Instead, they're going to call it to Aaron Hughes, and that is her fourth.
So Hughes subs out. 5 on the floor now for the Generals. Horn, Groninger, Deal, Smithy, and Casey. For Guilford, it's Davis, Carini, Walters, Golden, and Lynn. Golden, Davis, and Walters. Richie has mentioned this. They played every second of the game so far tonight. Golden on the wing, away to Miracle Walters. Walters back to Golden, two-player game. Now Golden takes it down low, got Horn up in the air, but then shuffled her feet. That's a traveling violation. Turnover back to WNL with 5:32 to play.
Nice job. She wasn't able to elevate because Horn went airborne and didn't let her go all the way to the right-hand side. She tried to come back to the left and lost control of the ball there, traveled with it.
Washington and Lee with the basketball, down by 2. Smithy trying to drive on Carini, who this time closed out on the shot. Smithy looking to beat her 1v1, and Carini tripped her up, or did they call it on Lynn? I think that's going to go on Charisma Lynn, or no?
Yeah, I think they called it on number 5 on Lynn on the reach-in on that play. Really kind of unfortunate. It just looked like two players got their feet tangled up.
Groninger, long three off the inbounds, no good. And the rebound to Guilford. Maybe not the shot the Generals needed there. Golden up the floor against Smithy. Nothing in transition for the Quakers, and they'll slow it down. They lead it 69-67. 5:06 left here in the fourth.
Nice job by Smithy there. She didn't let Golden get into the paint and drive her all the way to the basket, made her give it up.
Golden hands off to Davis, 10 to shoot. Davis down the lane. Davis, the floater is up, won't go. And a rebound to Groninger.
She wanted to go all the way to the basket, but Taylor Casey played great defense that time, didn't let her go and forced that bad shot.
Groninger away to Jordan Deal. Deal bounce pass to Smithy at the free throw line. Smithy eyes the rim, now puts it on the deck, gets inside, layup, no. Good recovery by Carini. Lynn's got the basketball.
Nice job defensively there by Carini, holding her position, not leaving her feet, and forcing that tough shot.
69-67 it remains. Guilford in front, 4:22 to go. Another drive by Davis, layup again won't go, and Groninger secures another rebound.
Deal, great help side that time, came over, helped Casey out, didn't pick up the foul, forced another tough shot by Davis.
Megan Horn on the drive, trying to dish to Smithy, who would have had an open layup, but there was a foul called as Horn took a bump from Lindsey Golden, who picks up her second. That's the fourth team foul.
Ever since Golden got rolled up by Smithy on that play, just hasn't had the explosiveness that we've seen in the first part of this game.
Got a timeout on the floor. 4:10 to go. It's Guilford 69, Washington and Lee 67. We'll take a short break and come right back to Salem for more coverage of the ODAC women's basketball quarterfinals.
Sweet strawberry icing. You're in Goodwill, and just past that vintage denim jacket you spot miniature donut earrings. You lean in. That's the scent of shopping success. Because at Goodwill, every item you buy funds local job training and more. So bring home those donut earrings and bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
2-point ball game, 4:10 to play. Guilford has led most of the night. It's currently the Quakers in front 69-67. Jeremy Franklin, Richie Waggoner back with you. These teams went down to the wire in Greensboro in January. It was a 1-point Generals lead with 2:56 to go. A late 9-1 scoring run helped WDL secure a 66-62 victory. Guilford's been in the lead most of the night. Here's Taylor Casey for three off the inbounds, no good. Battle for the rebound that is secured by Manel Dunlap. Deal trying to tie her up, can't do so. And now here comes Miracle Walters. Almost had that ball swiped away by Casey. Walters gets it back from Davis. Walters is fouled on the drive this time, and she'll shoot two.
That's a tough matchup. The switch came, and Casey got stuck on Miracle Walters. No way she could play her one-on-one. Horn stepped over, reached in. They're going to call her for the foul.
That is number 3 on Horn. It's also the third team foul. Miracle Walters at the line. First free throw is up and good. Miracle Walters, well over 1,100 points in her Guilford career. Comes in 13th all-time for a very, very good program. Knocks down both free throws and makes it a two-possession game, 71-67. Horn at the other end. Galden made some contact out front. That's 3 on Lindsey Galden. It's also the 15th foul, so the Generals hit the bonus with 3:47 to go.
That's what you want to see right now if you're Washington Lee. Be able to get to the free throw line this last 4 minutes of the game. You've beaten them to the double bonus. So now anytime the whistle blows your favor, you're going to get to go the stripe, and Washington Lee a good free throw shooting team.
Megan Horn, the third team all ODAC selection. 2 big ones at the line. First one is no good. It rims out for Horn, who comes in as a 67% free throw shooter.
Didn't use her legs very well on that one. Was straight up when she shot that. See if she can get some more bend on this and hold the follow through.
She does, and it's nothing but net. 71-68 Guilford. Quakers will do their best to shorten this game with some long possessions. Lynn out front goes across to Galden. Just hang it out 35 feet from the rim. Now dishes to Dunlap. Back away to Charisma Lynn. Into the corner to Walters. 12 to shoot. Walters starts in. Feeds Dunlap on the baseline. Dunlap gives it up to Walters. 6 to shoot. Walters away to Lynn. Lynn down the lane. The running shot is no good. Rebounded by Deal. Quick outlet to Megan Horn. Generals have it down 3. Horn away to Smithy. Elbow jumper is up. And air ball that time. Deal will try to save in the rebound. And nothing doing there. Out across the sideline. Quaker basketball, 3:06 to go.
Not very good hands by Kerry Harvey Cutter over here on the sideline there. I thought he and Commissioner Bankston had the ball coming right at him. Luckily, nobody dove over there.
3 minutes left in regulation. 3-point Guilford lead. Galden around a Dunlap pick. Sends it back to Kaylin Davis. Right corner to Lynn. Lynn goes baseline. Feeds Davis, open left corner 3 is up and good. Guilford up by 6.
You can't lose Kaylin Davis. That's exactly what happened. And we've seen Charisma Lynn how many times tonight penetrate in the middle and make the right decision. That time she found Kaylin Davis for the 3 in the left corner.
Davis second in the conference at 39.4% from beyond the arc. And she is 3 of 6 tonight. Guilford as a team, Richie, 8 of 15 from three-point range. 53% for a team that shoots under 30% from beyond the arc this season.
Yeah, but when you penetrate the way they do and kick out, well, how many times have we seen Taylor Casey get some clean looks on penetration and dish? You're a much better three-point shooter when you can catch the ball stepping into rhythm, and that happens when penetration comes and skip passes, and both teams have done a pretty good job of that here tonight, and thus the three-point percentages.
Generals are 9 of 24 from long range. Guilford 74. Washington and Lee 68-40 and counting to play as Megan Horn brings it up for the Generals.
They got to get Taylor Casey a clean look right here. I would like to see some penetration, maybe a kick out.
Instead, it's a step back 3 for Horn that barely grazes the rim, and Lynn has the basketball.
There's a veteran move by a first-year guard, slowing it down, run your offense, and see if you can get something going towards the basket, and that's where they've had their success here tonight.
Quakers up 6, 2:14 to go. Galden on the wing, shot clock at 11. Out front to Kaylin Davis. Davis off the dribble, launches the 3, it's no good. Offensive rebound for Galden.
Didn't hit the rim though.
But Guilford doesn't realize that. Now Davis chucks it up from half court. That also does not hit the rim. And so it will be a shot clock violation Possession back to the Generals with 1:58 to go.
But if you're Guilford with that 6-point lead, you'll take that. You didn't turn it over, you didn't score, but you used the entire 30 seconds. The clock is their friend right now.
They lead at 74-68. Casey left side three, contested shot, no. Offensive rebound for Deal, hands to Hughes, layup good, and a foul.
That's what you need right there. Long shots. You talk about how tough it is to rebound when you give up a three-pointer right there. And a good job by Deal sneaking in, getting a rebound on the weak side, shuffled it to Hughes, and now Hughes a chance at a three-point play to cut this lead in half.
Free throw good. The first 3 points of the fourth quarter for Aaron Hughes. Back to a one-possession game, 74-71. 1:39 to go here in Salem.
Coach Fellini got 3 timeouts left, both teams do. I want to see how they use those down the stretch to get their players a little bit of rest and set up plays, because every basket now so important.
Lynn on the wing, out front to Golden, 12 to shoot. This is Davis on the drive, the floater up, no good. Manel Dunlap ends up with the rebound and lays it up and in.
There's where the penetration broke down the defense. What have I done talking about? If you get to that weak side on penetration, more times than not, you got a chance at an easy offensive rebound, and that's what Dunlap did on that possession.
Aaron Hughes the drive, trying to feed the corner, knocked out of bounds by Lynn. 1:03 to play. It's Guilford 76, Washington and Lee 71.
See if they can get Hughes here coming off of a screen, getting inside for an easy bucket.
Horn will inbound. Inside to Hughes. Knocked away by Dunlap. Stolen by Golden. And Guilford has it with under a minute to go, up by 5. Generals trying to give a foul here, and they finally do. 54.7 to go. That's the 4th team foul. So one more to put Guilford at the line.
You know they're going to foul. Right now I'm getting the ball in Miracle Walters' hands. I want my senior to finish it out for me right now. Good free throw shooter. She's been your star ever since she stepped onto campus. You want to try and get her the basketball right here.
That was the 4th personal on Horn, and it comes to Dunlap. Back to Golden. Not a bad player to foul statistically. And then a deflection. It does make it through to Dunlap, and then the Generals called for the foul. They almost got a steal in the corner. And who's that foul going against? It's Aaron Hughes. That's number 5 on the first team All-ODAC selection.
But you had to foul Dunlap right there. That's who you want to send to the free throw line if you're Washington and Lee. She had to foul her. She had no choice. Now she got to sit there and do the toughest thing that any player has to do, and that's watch your teammates go out there and try to complete this comeback.
76-71. 2 shots for Dunlap, who's just a 56% free throw shooter, but calmly knocks down the first. 47 seconds left. The second one would make this a 3-possession game. Dunlap has 7 points tonight. Second free throw is no good. Rolled all the way around the rim, wouldn't go. Quick rebound and the immediate timeout from the Generals, looking to advance the basketball. With 45.7 seconds to play, it's Guilford 77 and Washington and Lee 71. And the Generals just lost one of their big playmakers as Aaron Hughes is fouled out.
And they did, but I mean, she had to commit that foul. And I mean, and she got what she wanted. They only made 1 out of 2. I mean, you had to commit that foul right there. It's a 6-point game, still just a 2-possession game. You've taken the timeout. You're able to move the ball to half court. You got to try and get Taylor Casey a look right here. She's been your bread and butter as far as the outside of the 3-point shooter, and they've done a good job when they've been able to put her on one of the wings, penetrate, and use a skip pass to get her the basketball. But you can't waste a whole lot of time. Just 45 ticks to go.
Taylor Casey has knocked down 5 3-pointers tonight. It's taken her 14 attempts to get there. As a team, the Generals 9 of 26. From beyond the arc. Guilford has missed a couple as of late, but still shooting 47% from 3. 6-point Guilford lead coming out of the timeout for the Quakers will be Dunlap, Walters, Golden, Lynn, and Davis. Golden, Davis, and Walters have not left the court at all tonight. Kate Gronier came in when Hughes fouled out. She's out there with Horn, Casey, Smithy, and Deal. Generals did advance the basketball in the timeout.
That gives you another 3-point shooter on the floor, though, so she can knock down the 3 as well.
Comes into Megan Horn. Horn on the wing. 41 to go. Away to Casey. Top of the key. 3 is good with 38.7 left. Guilford will not take a timeout. Quakers get it into Lynn, and then she's fouled by Jordan Deal with 36.2 to go.
Well, Well, you're putting the first year on the line. I mean, I know she's had a really good game, but, you know, this is a different atmosphere, a different situation that you've played in your entire college career. I mean, this is your first go around the ODAC tournament. I would like to have seen her get the ball and give it right back to Miracle Walters and put my senior at the line if I'm Coach Lamini, and kind of puzzled why she didn't take the time out there to advance the ball to half court to give herself more room to get the ball in bounds.
Lynn is 2 of 3 at the line tonight. First one here, no good. It's a 3-point margin with 36.2 to go. Trying to extend this back to a 2-possession game is Lynn, who's got 8 points and 7 rebounds tonight. Second free throw good. It's 78-74. And the immediate timeout called by Washington and Lee as the Generals advance the basketball with 36.2 seconds to go. 4-point margin. Will take a short timeout, come back for the final 36 seconds of this ODAC quarterfinal contest here in Salem.
Opiates has taken everything and everyone I've ever loved away from me. Everything.
I blew my ankle out and I got prescribed pain pills by my doctor.
If making my detox public is going to help somebody, I'm all for it. I just wish I would have had a warning.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth. A message from Truth, the Ad Council, and ONDCP.
78-74 Guilford Generals basketball. And it comes to Megan Horn, away to Casey. A long left side three is good. With 30.5 seconds left, it's a 1-point game. And the Generals are going to put Charisma Lynn back at the free throw line. Taylor Casey back-to-back threes. And it's 78-77.
And that one there, you really couldn't have played better defense than Guilford played. It was a nice handoff play. Horn handed off to Casey. She made him shoot her from 25 feet. But she gets those hips squared. She follows through to the basket. She's had 2 of them pure right in front of us to make this a 1-point game.
Casey's got 29 now, 7 3-pointers in the contest. And at the line is Lynn, who went 1 of 2 just a moment ago. 28.1 seconds left. First free throw here is up and good, but make her miss on the second and will be a 1-possession game.
And you got 1 timeout left. You can still move it across half court one more time. So make her miss. Coach Clancy going to call a timeout right away here to try and get Casey one more look.
Second shot for Lynn, good. 80-77, and there comes the timeout from Washington and Lee. The Generals down by 6 in the final minute. Now they have the basketball down by 3. Don't necessarily need another 3 with still 28 seconds left.
Yeah, but right now, the way Casey, she's in the zone. If she gets a clean look, you've got to give her an opportunity to tie this basketball game. What they've done is 2 different things. They ran her off a double screen the first time. She caught it, squared up to the basket. That time was a nice handoff screen from Horn, and she was able to knock it back out from 25 feet. But I'm like you right now. I think I would like to attack the basket, use kind of Casey as a decoy. She gets it. You know 3 people are going to run at her. You can get the ball to the basket pretty easily and get you a nice bucket and see if you can force another miss from the Quakers. They hit 1 of 2 twice in a row, and then that time Lynn was able to knock them both down.
Guilford 80, Washington and Lee 77, 28.1 seconds left in the fourth. Generals basketball across midcourt. Casey will inbound. Comes into Megan Horn. Horn dribbling on the wing. They're trying to free up Casey again. Top of the key against Davis. And Galden reaches in and gets the tie-up, and it will belong to Guilford on the alternating possession.
I know Galden got the tie, but Kaylin Davis made that play right there. She went over top of the screen and actually beat Casey to the spot. There was no way she could catch and shoot. Tried to put the ball on the deck. Help came, tied her up. And now here we got Guilford going to take that timeout, see if they can move the ball across half court.
20.5 seconds left. 80-77. Quakers a big turnover forced there by Guilford. They were trying to get another look for Taylor Casey, and as you said, Lindsey Galden got the tie, but that was all Kaylin Davis forcing her into the double team.
And Kaylin Davis didn't play bad defense on the first 2 threes. She was there, especially the second one, but when you're going to shoot it from 25 feet and be that pure, doesn't really matter where the defense is. But that time, it wasn't the fact that she played really good defense. She never let Casey beat her to the spot and get the ball cleanly, and when you do that, there's no way you can be squared up to the basket.
So the Quakers have it up by 3 with 20.5 seconds to go. If the Generals cannot steal the inbounds pass, they will foul immediately. Guilford so far in this fourth quarter is 7 of 9 at the line. Charisma Lynn just hit a couple of big ones right before the Guilford takeaway.
I'm not so sure I wouldn't try and foul Dunlap before the ball even gets in bounds. See if you can put her at the free throw line if I'm Washington League.
And it comes to Walters, and she'll take a turn at the free throw line. Less than a second going off the clock there. It's down to 19.6.
And that's who I would get the ball to right there. I mean, she's your senior. She's been through many of these here in this ODAC tournament. See if she can get up and knock down 2. At least make one of the 2, and it makes a 2-possession game, because now Coach Clancy, she used that last timeout. They can't advance the ball, so it's going to take at least 4 or 5 seconds to get the ball into the front court.
Miracle Walters, 14 points tonight, 2 of 2 at the free throw line, where she shoots 68.9% this year. First one good, so it's a 4-point margin with another one coming for the 3-time all-conference selection. First team last year, second team honors this season. Second foul shot good as well, 82-77. And as Richie mentioned, the Generals out of timeouts. Here comes Megan Horn. Got to have something in a hurry. Horn on the drive, and reaching in is Lynn. Got the tie-up. It will stay with W&L. But a lot of time coming off the clock without a shot attempt. It's down to 11.9.
Tried to do a little too much there. Groninger was wide open in the left corner. We've seen her make that shot before. I wish Horn would have kicked it out there a little bit quicker. Or maybe they could have gotten a clean look.
Baseline inbounds play for Casey into Horn. Horn, the floater is up, no good. Rebound battled for Walters, and Smithy diving after, and they will call the foul on Andy Smithy with just 6.1 seconds left. Guilford will have free throws already up by 5.
With just 6 seconds left, that'll probably just about do it right there, barring some type of a miracle. Walters at the free throw line. Good job that time defensively by Guilford. As Horn got the basketball, she drove into the lane, never really got control of it, and really never had a chance to make that shot in the paint.
So Walters back at the line. First one is good. 83-77. What a game put together by Guilford. The Quakers, as we told you at the top of the broadcast, had played their best basketball at the end of the season. Second shot good. It's a 7-point game. One last look here for the Generals. Megan Horn away to Groninger, who launches the 3. No good at the buzzer. And Guilford has upset the number 2 seed. The Quakers knock off the Generals 84-77 here in the quarterfinals.
And Guilford, now you see why they got picked preseason #1 in the conference. I mean, you've got senior play. We talked about the 2 young guards that came up. How many big shots did Kaylin Davis hit? They did just enough defensively, but it was on the offensive end of the floor where Guilford really excelled. They penetrated, got the ball to the rim, and then used that offensive glass to build that lead.
Season high in scoring for Guilford. Richie, they only broke 70 twice during the regular season. They put 84 up on the board tonight. 5 in double figures, 24 for Lindsey Golden, 18 for Walters, 11 apiece for Davis, Charisma Lynn, and Kristen Roberts. And Guilford moving on to Saturday semifinals.
And they set the tone with the first 3 possessions of the game. All 3 of those, Charisma Lynn was able to penetrate and either score or kick it out to an open shooter. They went 3 for 3, and they really never looked back. They lost the lead a couple of times, but Guilford pretty much controlled the game from those first 3 possessions.
Taylor Casey, 29 points in her final game for Washington and Lee. Aaron Hughes had 17 before fouling out. Megan Horn, 16. Andy Smithy, 8. But the Generals, who had one of the best regular seasons in program history, first time they've ever won a share of the ODAC regular season title, their campaign wraps up at 18-8.
And I really thought this was their tournament. I really thought that even though they lost that tiebreaker to Emory and Henry, in my opinion, I thought they were the #1 seed coming into this tournament. But Guilford did what a very veteran team does. You've got a coach who's been here before. You've got a senior who led you who's been here before. And they did exactly what people thought they did when they picked them #1 in the conference way back in November.
Quakers moving on to the semifinals. They will take on either the #3 seed Bridgewater or #6 Roanoke. That contest coming up in about half an hour. Richie and Gene Willey, the former Bridgewater coach, will have the call. I'm going to sit in between the two of you to make sure that you behave for that broadcast here tonight. You can watch that on the ODAC Sports Network. We're going to say so long on our video coverage. For Richie Wagner, I'm Jeremy Franklin. Thanks for tuning in. We'll come back with the final word on WLUR in just a moment. Our final score in the ODAC quarterfinals here tonight: Guilford 84 and Washington and Lee 77.
Welcome back to the Dog Show. Up next, we have Satchmo. Satchmo is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right, a group known especially for their couch snuggling, ball chasing, face licking, and of course companionship. Now let's see him in action.
Look how he makes eye contact with his person.
That's actually known as the treat stare.
How intuitive, and now he appears to be excitedly turning in circles.
Ah, the happy dance so common with this group.
But really, the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Satchmo is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something. Something serious. I know you love me. I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Back with you one last time here on WLUR and WLUR All Access, powered by First Team Broadcasting. Guilford upsetting Washington in league 84-77 in the quarterfinals of the ODAC Women's Basketball Tournament. The Generals campaign will wrap up at 18-8. Guilford improves to 16-9 and advances to Saturday's semifinal round against either Bridgewater or Roanoke. Our coverage of Generals basketball tonight and all season long has been brought to you in part by the Washington and Lee University Store. Celebrate your favorite Generals team with a sports tee, decal, or hat. If you can think of it, we probably have it. The store is open 7 days a week. It is owned and operated by Washington and Lee. All proceeds go back to the WNL community, helping to fund athletic, alumni, and student programs. Order online anytime at store.wlu.edu, and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for exclusive online promotions. Go Generals. I'll look at some numbers here. Guilford ends up shooting 48% from the field, 47% from three, and then 14 of 19 at the foul line. The Generals, 29 of 63 from the floor, 46%, 38% from three, and 73% at the line. But Guilford +7 on the glass. Turnover count was even. And the Guilford bench outscores WNL 18-5 tonight. Lindsey Golden, last year's ODAC Rookie of the Year, leads Guilford with 24 points. Miracle Walters at 18. Charisma Lynn, 11.7 rebounds and 3 assists. Kaylin Davis and Kristen Roberts each with 11. Manel Dunlap had 7 and 7. Only 7 players saw the floor for the Quakers tonight. Only 8 to end the game for Washington and Lee, but the Generals' minutes more spread out. Golden, Walters, and Davis each played all 40 for Stephanie Flamini's team. While Taylor Casey won a final game in her career, 29 points for the senior from Tennessee. She will finish her career with 1,309 and wrap up in 7th place all-time. She moved up another rung on the all-time ladder. She sets the career free throw shooting mark. She finishes 2nd all-time in three-pointers made. But not the ending that she, Andy Smithy, and Molly Mann wanted for their careers. 2-time All-ODAC honoree was Casey, so was Andy Smithy. And then Molly Mann, part of that senior class that wraps up their career as the winningest group in program history. It's not much solace right now, but they've had 66 victories, breaking the record of the class of 2012 that finished with 65 wins. The difference, that group had an ODAC title, and the Generals, who came so close last year and thought they had a great shot this year, will not even have a chance to play on into the semifinal round. Casey with 29, Megan Horn 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists. Aaron Hughes had 17 points, but fouled out late in the fourth quarter. 8 points for Andy Smithy, 2 points and 9 rebounds for Jordan Deal. The only bench scoring tonight, the 5 points contributed from Kate Roniger. So a tough loss for the Generals. They will struggle to replace the likes of Casey and Smithy, and then all the things that Molly Mann did for this program off the court, even though she was not one of the statistical leaders for this WNL team. You've got 2 All-ODAC performers to build around in Aaron Hughes and Megan Horn. Jordan Deal, well established as one of the best rebounders and defenders in the conference. Kate Groniger and Aaron Addison obviously have contributed a lot. Both had 20-point games on this floor in the ODAC tournament last year, and in that rookie class did not get any action tonight, but we saw some good stuff off and on throughout the season from Catherine Vandiver, Anna Dorta, and Lauren Fowler. And another first-year Terry Phillips recovering from an injury and did not have a chance to take the court at all this season. So the Generals are done, upset here in the quarterfinals. We are not done with our coverage of WNL basketball in this tournament. The men's team seeded third will take on number 6 Lynchburg in the quarterfinals tomorrow night. Our coverage will begin at 8 o'clock sharp on WLUR and WLUR All Access. Video coverage as well at ODAConline.com on the ODAC Sports Network. Thanks to Andy McEnroe and the first team broadcasting crew, as well as to Tiffany Thomason back in the WLUR studio. I'm Jeremy Franklin saying so long from the Salem Civic Center. Our final score in the ODAC women's basketball quarterfinals tonight: Guilford 84 and Washington and Lee 77.